Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about the Nancy Guthrie missing abduction case. 5 months was yesterday, July 1st. Sheriff Nanos missed another opportunity on live television. Well, it wasn't live. It was a recorded video. He gave an interview and didn't even know in the interview to say it was 5 months. He said it was 5 years and he corrected himself. So Sheriff Nanos, again, Ed, missed an opportunity to stare at the camera and tell these people who are responsible for what happened to Nancy Guthrie that we will hunt you down and we will bring you to justice and we will not stop until you are in handcuffs. Never heard a sheriff, like, look, we look at Polk County, right? Sheriff Grady Judd. That man knows how to hold a press conference and knows how to stare into the camera and say, if you commit a crime in Polk County, you're going to get locked up. Ed, your thoughts on the 5-month mark here of Nancy Guthrie being missing? We now, have to assume obviously the worst. But your thoughts and what you saw with that interview that I shared with you today.
Well, again, it's the same old, same old. He's given us information that's contradictory to what the feds were saying. And then, then the reporter is giving other information that seems to contradict what the feds are saying. And it's like the gang that couldn't shoot straight. You had a perfect opportunity to, threaten the people involved here, and he didn't take it. And he had the perfect opportunity to say, hey, we're going to get you. And if you think you're going to get away with this, you're sadly mistaken, and all of that, put the fear of God into them. But right now there is no fear of God because he's made himself a laughing stock.
Yeah. He looks like a fool, and I call him a clown. Like I'm looking at my notes that I have hanging up here. He's got a big ego. He's spiteful. He micromanages, but he doesn't know how to manage, because if he really was a true law enforcer, he would have, as I hate to be redundant and repeat myself, but he would look straight into the camera when that reporter said, is there anything new to report? He could have easily said, we're working on new leads and we're getting closer. He could have also looked and taken that opportunity, look straight in that camera and tell the people who are responsible, we know you're out there and we're going to get you. So you might as well turn yourself in, because you're not going to be able to sleep. We are not going to stop until we get you into custody. He did none of the sort. He gave us more word salad. Let us know in the chat by pressing a 1 if you felt that was just another 4 minutes or 8 minutes of word salad by Sheriff Nanos. This guy, I have never seen anything like this in all the time that I've been a law enforcer, and I've never seen anything like it since we've been covering these cases since 2019. This has got to be the worst. People in the chat are throwing up those number ones. Let us know where you're watching, city, state. And I want to say a special thank you to the new subscribers, the moderators, the replay viewers, and everybody who supports us through buying me cups of coffee, super chats, and becoming a member. That really is the heartbeat of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, our memberships and our public subscribers. We love and appreciate all of you guys. Let's take a listen, Ed. I'm not going to play the full interview because that is painful. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But let's take a listen. This was the local station who did the interview, and I feel like, and I think you and I are both on the same page. I feel like that reporter really threw him ground balls, just like such a soft interview. She didn't press him for anything, Ed.
No.
Let's take a look.
Simplistic.
Yeah, simplistic. And he seemed very comfortable, because let me put us back. He seemed very comfortable in this interview, and let us know what you think in the chat and on the replay in the comment section. Didn't Sheriff Nanos look like he was, the CEO of a company that just sat there with his arms folded or his hands crossed, or hand gestures all around? He seemed very comfortable because he knew that woman wasn't going to come at him tough. Let's take a listen.
News anchor Brooke Wagner joining us live from the Sheriff's Department headquarters.
And Brooke, you just received that update on the investigation from the sheriff and have an exclusive comment from Savannah Guthrie.
Right, Mary, we do have all of that. And just as we were putting together our story after our one-on-one interview with Sheriff Nanos, we received this statement from the FBI regarding reports from other media saying the FBI believes ransom notes in the Guthrie case have been deemed fake. Here is what they say to that. Quote, the FBI and its task force partners have received several ransom notes over the course of this investigation. Some have been deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may be potentially legitimate and are still being investigated as such. This case continues to be investigated as a kidnapping for ransom case. The FBI has and will continue to offer all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. Now,
Now, Ed, I got to put us back on just for a second. I don't know if you caught that, but we know, and most true crime enthusiasts know that the FBI and locals, Pima County, I don't even like to say it, but they're the lead on this because it's a local case. It's not a Fed case yet. So Pima County and the FBI, if a ransom email or note, as they're calling it, comes in, they got to run it down. They got to say it's legitimate until it's deemed not legitimate. But when you see statements like this, and then you see some of the reporting, this is what's causing the confusion, Ed, is that some reporting, like Reuters, is saying that the FBI deemed them all to be fake from their sources, right? Reuters sources. Then you have TMZ, this clown, this jagaloon, Harvey Levin, saying and doubling down, I called the FBI and I spoke with this one and I spoke with that one.
I'm working with them.
Yeah, I'm working with them. They don't want to work with TMZ because it's a rag, trash, National Enquirer, piece of garbage station that is exploiting the murder of Nancy Guthrie. He's exploiting this situation and using his platform with 5.4 million YouTube subscribers and millions of other subscribers on all of the other paid platforms and open platforms that he goes on with TMZ, their live show. And he's saying that my guy that's telling me he's got a video is legitimate. As a matter of fact, I have it screenshot and saved. He uploaded a video on TMZ tonight that said he spoke with the guy who allegedly has the video. And it was a replay of him and Mark Garagos. They never even said in the video that they talked to this guy. So this,
all I have to say about this is, hey, TMZ, stick to what you do best. Go to Tay-Tay's wedding at the Garden.
I'm going to press the button. Everybody hold your ears, but
pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
I had to use that button because it was appropriate for Harvey Levin. But so TMZ and some of the folks who are reporting on the story, because the sheriff is not really giving any live updates or really giving anything that's reportable. There would be no story to report on if the sheriff came on and said, look, it's an active and ongoing investigation and we can't give up where we're at because it could hurt the investigation. That's basically what he would probably say to them. But this reporting and this back and forth between reporters trying to pump their chests and say, hey, my sources, the FBI didn't deem them illegitimate. They deemed them legitimate. This fight, who does this help? Does this help Nancy Guthrie? Does this help the case at all? This helps just to fudge it up and make it even more dirty. The waters get muddy and dirty with this kind of reporting. Let us know what you think of TMZ in the live chat, because we really value our live chatters. And let us know in the comments if you're a replay viewer. We love the replay viewers. Let's listen a little bit more.
Local authorities all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. Now, those local authorities certainly include the Sheriff's Department here and Sheriff Chris Nanos, who we just talked to about an hour ago. And I asked him about notes or a note. And here's what he had to say.
But I guess there's something out now that says, oh, the FBI or the sheriff have dismissed notes. That is not the truth. What we know is we have a number of notes that we are actively looking at and will continue to actively investigate.
And he also told me, by the way, that there have been arrests made over fake notes throughout this case. So at 13 News, we have made a very thought out decision not to cover some of these reports from other media outlets because we can't confirm them independently. And also, we are part of.
You see where this is going, Ed? How these news outlets, including herself, they're trying to say, we're going to be better. We're not going to report on these other news outlets. And she didn't mention any news outlets by name. Neither does TMZ. They don't mention Reuters reported that the FBI sources that they have said that all of these notes were deemed illegitimate. But she's saying, generally speaking, we're not going to report on anything and be responsible. I think, at the end of the day, as it pertains to this case, it for them professionally, that's a good route to take. But for people like that are true crime enthusiasts, that are following this case, that are invested in it, that are just at home watching and trying to be armchair detectives or whatever you want to call it, figure out this case, they don't like to hear this because then it gives them nothing to go on. But speculation is all that people are left to deal with here because there's nothing officially coming out from the Fed. We know that the Feds won't do that. They don't do that. The only time you'll hear from them is when they got an arrest, right, Ed?
Pretty much, yeah. Or when they're breaking news with an indictment or a big takedown. Like there were several news conferences by the Feds today. The Chicago cases that they brought to trial, over 300, some sex trafficking things going on and so forth. They had a really good day, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. All right, so now she goes on to say that there was a message given out or put out to the station directly by Nancy Guthrie. So let's take a listen to this because I'm not sure if did anybody see this sheriff's interview, and does anybody want to hear it on quick 2x speed? We could listen to it fast. It's like 7 minutes. If you want to hear the Nanos interview and have Ed and myself break it down, we could do that for you. Let us know by putting a 1 in the chat if you want to hear it. I'll play it quick, like fast forward. Put a 2 in the chat if you'd rather not. If it was going to make you throw up, then we'd rather spare you because 4th of July, 250th anniversary of America is coming up this weekend. So I don't want people puking on us.
Reach for comment earlier today, Savannah Guthrie told 13 News, it is 5 months of agony and unending trauma for our family. There is not a moment that goes by that we aren't actively trying to find our mom. We thank the people of Tucson for holding her in their hearts, as well as both the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department for their tireless work on behalf of our family. Bring her home.
So that's been a common statement by the Guthrie family, and this is from Savannah. Bring her home, right? That's the hashtag. Bring her home. When you see stuff like this, as people who are not connected personally to this case, that includes myself, Ed, and the hundreds of thousands and millions of people who watch this. We don't know Nancy Guthrie. We know Savannah from seeing her on TV. Her daughter is a popular morning show host here in New York. But when you look at this statement and say there's not a moment that goes by that we aren't actively trying to find our mom, there's people, Ed, and I know you look at the comments. There's people that say to this that they're not doing enough. Like I don't dare go after or attack victims' families, and everybody has their own. You have to lay your head down at night, and if you feel comfortable with going after them and saying, "Hey, you're not doing enough. We're doing more than you," that's not the right attitude to take here. So she's thanking the people of Tucson for holding her mom in their hearts, and as well as the FBI and Pima County sheriffs. I'm not quite sure, like in my mind, if she's happy with the production from the Pima County sheriffs, but she put the FBI first and then Pima County sheriff second. But I just don't I don't think it's fair to say, because we don't know what Savannah Guthrie's doing behind the scenes. They might be doing stuff and not talking about it. Like there was that controversy, Ed, of did they hire a PI? Did they not? Could they hire you to go and do the forensic workup inside the house? Your thoughts on that, Eddie?
Yeah, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the family, and so it's not fair in that regards. I mean, this is a high profile person too. Savannah Guthrie is a media personality. Okay, she's got a big audience and she has a big microphone and soapbox, so to speak. So she can get out there and say things and do things on behalf of her family and her mother and the case and everything. And I'm sure she's got a lot of political contacts with the Department of Justice and the FBI and so forth, that she's getting advice on what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And so like you said, she can definitely afford private investigators. She can definitely afford private forensic people and so forth.
Yeah, and it could be happening behind the scenes, unbeknownst to us. So again, I want to just bring this up because this doesn't just happen in a case like this, but this happens to be like, you can't open up the news every day. I'm getting notifications about Nancy Guthrie, and it's really a lot of nothing. It's not. There's notifications that are coming through, but like there's the argument too. Like people say, well, what about the missing Jane Doe or missing, so and so that's just a regular citizen? They don't get this kind of attention, and that has a lot of people pissed off, and rightfully so. So let's also touch on what I asked. Did people want to hear a fast forward version of? It's only 7 minutes or 6.5 minutes. I could put it on 2 times speed and we could be done with it in 3 minutes. But did people want to hear that? I saw a lot of number ones in the chat. Let's pull the chat one more time. 1 in the chat if you want to hear the Sheriff Nanos interview. 2 if you don't, if it would make you throw up. So I saw a lot of 1s. I didn't see many 2s. I don't think I even saw one number 2. It sounds.
I saw it too.
Okay, that sounds ugly. A number 2, isn't that what a dog does? A number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Okay, a lot of number 1s. So let's play the rest of this, and then we'll finish with Sheriff No Gonads.
And that sentiment, bring her home, echoed by the sheriff today as well. So here at 13 News, I can tell you we will continue to work day and night and work with our sources to bring you the most responsible and sensitive, accurate coverage of this case. Right now, you can find a timeline of everything that has gone on over the...
There's a number 2, Ed. And it's
I saw a couple of 2s.
And it's a husky. It's a husky picture. Look at the 2 different
blue
colors.
Eyes and the brown eyes. Yeah.
I love it.
Last 5 months at KOLD.com. For now, I'm Meitner, 13 News here at the Sheriff's Department.
Brooke, thank you. And the biggest lead in the case remains video of a suspect from Guthrie's doorbell camera. Investigators say he's a man around 5'9" or 5'10" with an average build. The video you see shows him tampering with the camera, wearing what appears to be dark clothing, gloves, and an Ozark Trail hiker backpack that's sold at Walmart.
Sheriff Chris Nanos told us his department and the FBI continue to work this case every day, but they still want to hear from the public. If you have any information on...
Yeah, so we have the 800 call FBI, 225-5324. If you have any information, please call them. Here, I just want to show you, this is the Harvey Levin thing of him doubling down and saying, let me see what this is. The FBI just told me the notes aren't fake. This is what he uploaded a day ago. Look at this, right? And then if you go back here, I have saved this clickbait from just a few hours ago. Look at what Harvey Levin uploads. This is 6 hours ago, right? Can you guys all see this title? I spoke to the Nancy Guthrie letter writer. And what is it? You click on it, and it's him and Mark Garagos from last week when he was on the Garagos podcast. There's nowhere in this video where he speaks about speaking to the Nancy Guthrie letter writer. I spoke to the Nancy. Look at this shit. This is garbage. I mean, so the guy's fighting, using his own platform to have an argument with Reuters and other outlets. It's crazy, Ed.
Yep.
It's crazy, Ed.
Switch.
These places are insane.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
Manalapan Maple Farms.
All right. So this is it.
We already kind of touched on this, but I've got to ask, is there anything at all new? Is there any movement or action right now in the case?
Well, there's always a lot.
What did I do, Ed? Okay, yeah. All right, so this is how the interview starts off. She asks him, this is the hardest question she asks him in the whole video, Ed. You all right, Ed?
Yeah.
What's happening?
My father's
Okay.
sneaking down the hallway.
Okay, well, you keep an eye on Pops. Here we go. This is the toughest question of the whole interview right here in the beginning at 4 seconds.
On this, but I've got to ask, is there anything at all new? Is there any movement or action right now in the case?
Well, there's always a lot going on with this case. Every day, our teams meet with the FBI. They're assigned to that task force. It's a task force of probably about 10 to 15 of our teams, and the FBI has dedicated workforces to it. But it's about sitting down at the table and talking, what do we have working today? And a lot of times it's maybe working with labs across the country on DNA. It may be working with maybe Google or somebody on our videos and what we can do with that. It could be working on a number of pieces. I think there's been a lot of talk about ransom notes. We're looking into that, and those are notes that we've been pretty consistent. You know, you divvy up the work, right? We took the DNA, we gave the ransom notes to the FBI. They look at those, and we every day come to the table and share the information and try to come up with some ideas what else we can do to get things going.
So this is what's the crazy part as a law enforcer, and Ed, you and I have had, decades of service here in the Northeast in the NYPD, but you would think that a guy like this is not like, hey, I want to catch you for an interview. This is a planned interview, right? Mm-hmm. So he knew that there was going to be a camera shoved in front of his face. Don't you think that he, or maybe his second in command, would have sat down and said, you know what? I think this is going to be a good opportunity for me, the Pima County Sheriff, the elected sheriff, to say in front of the camera, we're coming for you and we're not going to stop. So don't sleep with one eye open, because we're going to catch your ass and we're going to bring you to justice. But he didn't do it. This is what's got me so pissed about this interview and many others that he's done in the past. And he didn't even know it was 5 months. He said 5 years. This guy's fucking whacked, in my opinion.
He's not involved in this case. His head is in the clouds. He has no clue what's going on. You can see he's out of touch.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, he's so unprofessional and all over the place. This is an embarrassment to all sheriffs across the United States. Guys like Grady Judd, and I have to bring him up because he can run frickin' circles around this guy. And if Grady Judd was handling this case, we would have a whole bunch of updates, and he would be able to confirm to his community that I am on it, my people are on it, we're never going to stop, and we're going to hunt these savages down, and we're going to bring them to justice. But this guy failed, and that's part of this title, another missed opportunity by Sheriff No Nads.
But it's constant. This is every single day. This is we don't have anything to do, no? And on top of all that, and that's where you all play a big role, we still need tips. We still want those non-emergency line, our 351-4900 or FBI tip line, because every piece of information that's out there could prove vital. You don't know all the things we know, and we still need to know what you know, because there's something out there that we don't know. We think somebody knows.
What did he just say?
There's something out there that we don't know.
God,
could prove vital. You don't know all the things we know, and we still need to know what you know, because there's something out there that we don't know. We think somebody knows something, so call us with whatever tip you might have. It really is. I can't stress this enough. Every piece of evidence, every single tip we have, they are worked, They are looked at very seriously, and nothing is dismissed. So don't think this is too small or this was too long.
See, this is Ginny, and thank you for the comment. I love all the comments, but she said, isn't he really a politician? He's a career law enforcement. He worked his way. He got into the Pima County Sheriff's 30 years ago as a correction officer, and he worked his way through the ranks. And somehow, some way, the people of Pima County were tricked into electing this buffoon, this freaking clown, into being their sheriff to run their county. And they people who voted for this guy have got to be kicking themselves in the ass right now, because this guy's an embarrassment. And he is a career 30-year law enforcer. And he worked in Texas. He worked in Texas before he came over to Arizona, because he had to flee Texas because he was going to get fired and lie on his interview to get into Pima County as a correction officer. So thank you, Ginny, for that. It's just so pathetic and so sad. This guy's way in over his head, and he doesn't know his ass from his elbow.
Long ago. Call us.
Are you still getting quite a few tips?
You know, as you would expect, they have drastically gone down. I mean, the first few days we were just inundated with them, which helps. Now we have to catalog them, prioritize them, look through them. We still get tips day to day, but not the volume we were, but they're still coming. And we would never discourage that. Continue with that.
What kind of forensic evidence is still in the lab at this point?
Well,
Ed, you're going to have a field day with this part of it.
Yeah.
You let me know when you want me to stop. So she asked him, what kind of forensic evidence do you have?
we've talked a lot about DNA. And I can't get into it real specific, but we have a lot of DNA that we're still working with the labs. And the labs are, they've been incredible. It's not just our lab and FBI lab. These are labs across the country, and they understand way better than the sheriff DNA and concepts and new technology that's coming or that exists, and says, hey, we have this DNA, but it's overlapped by 4 other people. Maybe I touch this pad and 3 of us touch that pad. We get DNA, but there's 4 that you got to separate. And it's that kind of conversation of from one lab to the other. How did you guys deal with this? How would you handle that? And then of course you've got genealogy, and those have a different set of rules, if you will, and science behind it to say how they can work with all of that. So
you can tell he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, what is he taking? Never mind. I was going to say he's taking word salad lessons. Okay, he's just spinning the wheels here and dazzling them with bullshit.
He's mixing up a horrible garden salad for us that has really bad dressing on it. Let
me go get some salad dressing.
Stand by.
It's probably a lot more complex than that. But I just
you think
daily that those labs, our teams, the FBI are working on it constantly.
So the testing that's still going on, it's not unusual that this would go on over month after month. It takes that long to kind of.
Absolutely. Especially when you throw in genealogy. Now you're trying to, hey, it's not the bad guy, but this person might be the bad guy's relative 3 times over. So it's a cousin, or it's a nephew, and so that has to be broken down. And
yeah, this comment here has nothing to do with what we're discussing, but today, this Kalia guy, the one who sent the false note, the ransom note, arrested, brought into court, and I think he didn't get sentenced yet, but he basically copped to a 5-year probation sentence. They followed the mom and dad out of the court today. I watched that, and they asked if you have any comments. Do you want to apologize to the Guthrie family? Do you have anything to say? And both mom and dad just said, no, we have no comment.
All I have to say about the sheriff here, would you buy a used car from this guy?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, hell no.
That's a big old
look at and seeing, is this somebody that should be of interest to us?
You mentioned the notes. Let's talk a little bit about over the last week or so, there's been a flurry of reporting about notes, and a lot of it is very contradictory. So, and I realize that that's not necessarily your purview, but what is your take or your message about the notes?
So first of all, when we and your team, very responsible, very appreciative from not just me, but the community and the family, law enforcement reacted very appropriately, immediately got a note, the first note that said, hey, there's a ransom here. And you immediately called us and the FBI and we got working on it. And now we've seen it go to, I think, other news outlets sometimes.
Virginia knew that I was set up for the oh hell no. Virginia Scratcher has been here a long time. She said, I knew that was coming. And thank you for being a longtime subscriber and a good friend to the Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace community. We have to use these buttons in moments like this, because this kind of stuff, although we throw some humor into this, is very frustrating, because we worked for our entire careers for the victims' victims and their families, right? And we did our work. Ed did his work in the crime scene unit, and within mind to capture the bad guy, right? That's what we're programmed to do, is bring bad guys to justice. We want to capture the bad guy. But when you hear this guy speaking, it doesn't seem like that's his first and foremost, his priority. It seems like this guy's whole intentions behind these interviews are to like me, and to sidestep what the meat and potatoes is here. And the meat and potatoes are, hey, we need to bring these bad guys to justice. And he's saying everything but that. It's just crazy. It's insane. It's insane. And I feel bad for the family.
We get different notes. Look, I can't stress this enough. The FBI takes these notes extremely serious. They track them down. And if they find it to be fraudulent, they don't just put aside. They will arrest you. They have made arrests. I think they made 2 or 3 arrests already from people who, shameful as it is, are exploiting Nancy Guthrie and the family by, even if they're playing a game. I don't know what mind that is that says this is what I want to do. Don't do it. If you send a note, and whether it's fraudulent or otherwise, we're going to be looking at it very seriously, and you will be arrested. We're not just dismissing it. So we have a few of those that we've done, but I guess there's something out now that says, the FBI or the sheriff have dismissed notes. That is not the truth. What we know is we have a number of notes that we are actively looking at and will continue to actively investigate, even though this piece is given to the FBI. If they need our assistance at the Sheriff's Department, we're there. This is, I think Director Patel said today, and he's absolutely correct, this is a local case, but we've always worked closely with our federal partners and our other local partners, and the FBI and us. We have a task force. It didn't just.
Is that why Director Patel said to this man, and on national television, I think he was on with Hannity, Director Patel said that this man kept the FBI and its resource, the full force of the FBI, away from this investigation for what? 4 days, Ed? But now he's saying we work with the FBI and we're lockstep with the FBI. How is that working? How did that work out?
We've always worked closely with our federal partners and our other local partners.
Bullshit.
And the FBI and us. We have a task.
Did you say bullshit?
Bullshit. Didn't just start from this. It's been in existence for decades. We've always participated. We lean on each other for assistance, and we go beyond that. We go to other law enforcement agencies.
And that's all I have to say about that.
If we need their assistance with anything, not just here locally, across the state, DPS or others, to say, hey, could you do this for us? And it just goes without saying, everybody has stepped up. Nobody said, oh, we can't do that for you, Sheriff. Or
everybody but you.
They know across the nation, they know how important this case is.
Mm-hmm. I think our community definitely knows it too.
Absolutely.
Really, they do.
Get a cutaway.
They tried to kick him out of office, lady. Where you been?
information. They know how important this case is.
Mhm. I think our community definitely knows it too.
Absolutely.
I'm good if you want to get a cutaway or.
So this is where she tries to wrap it up. This is you want to do a cutaway. So she's telling her cameraman, you know, like, we're going to segue out of this interview. And this is where he messes up and says, we're at the 5-year mark. And then he catches himself. Anybody catch that in the chat while you were watching this on either live or replay? Did anybody here catch Sheriff Nanos say it was the 5-year mark? This is where he's going to say it. So I'm going to slow it up because we're at the end of this. When we put it on to normal, that was that wasn't, I didn't double up the speed because I didn't want it to sound silly, but that was sped up a bit. So let's put it regular.
You saw it, and we'll just, unless there's anything else you want to add, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that we're set for the update.
Yeah. You guys have anything? I know this is the 5-month mark.
Yes.
And you know,
there it was.
Our thoughts are still and 5-month mark. You guys have anything? I know this is the 5-month mark.
Yes.
And you know, our thoughts are still and have been and will always be with the whole family, Guthrie family. I can't imagine. I don't even want to think about being in that place. Here you are 5 months later and you still have no answers.
You're in the place with them and you're giving them zero hope. You're giving your community zero hope that you have, that you're competent. You've already received a vote of no confidence from the Pima County Deputies Union, right? Our good friend, Sergeant Aaron Cross. I communicate with Aaron on a regular basis. I consider him a friend now. And Aaron says there's nothing new to report about this case. But this guy is not a true leader because, you know, sometimes when you are an executive running a county, he's an elected official, you got to, you know, grab the bull by the horns and show that you got a pair of cojones and let the bad guys know that you mean business. And I keep circling back to this because this is law enforcement 101. You can't seem soft like this guy seems and be effective, right? These perps, these bad guys are laughing because they're like, I got this fucking buffoon he's not doing anything. Look, we know he's not investigating the case. He couldn't investigate his way out of a paper bag. Ed, I don't want you to break the Stop and Shop bag out again. Please, let's keep the Stop and Shop bag away.
No Stop and Shops in Jersey.
Yeah. So it's just there could have been so much more to this. And we'll let it wrap because it's just another, I think, a minute here, not even.
Best I could tell the family is we continue to work this case. We're not giving up.
Yeah. Will it change anything about the way you do detective work in the future? Is there anything that has come of this that you can learn from or that is informative in any way?
Well, you know, I learned a lot, but I'm saying for the investigative efforts and that, no, I think the teams learn from not just each other, but as they move through any investigation, you should be learning, hey, maybe I could try this tactic or that tactic. But, you know, no, our team, the Sheriff's Department and the FBI have just really, I can't give enough kudos to them.
Wow. Just unbelievable, Ed. Ed, some of the takeaways from this, from your perspective, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll go to the audience and grab some questions from them.
He's a joke. I mean, drop the mic, walk away. This is ridiculous. He spun his wheels. The interview was ridiculous in total. She was like, "Yeah, are you kidding me? What is the relationship between these two?" It's like crazy. I mean, this is how you do an interview?
Yeah, it just seemed like they were best friends, and she was there hanging out for a job interview, and it was just ridiculous. I don't want to add insult to injury, but again, the TMZ, and I touched on this earlier, Harvey Levin, and this is helping to make this more of a circus. This is, like I said, National Enquirer stuff, but because of that reporting of within the last 24 hours of the FBI from Reuters News, which everybody here has to have heard of Reuters News. I could read the headline to you from Reuters, but I don't think I need to. And Harvey, in response to Reuters News, did a 5-minute uploaded video of him saying, "Hey, look at me. I called the FBI myself, and they gave me confirmation, and they said, no, this is not what." This is not true. That what he didn't say Reuters. He'll never mention the name, but I got to play it. I'm sorry. You guys can crucify me in the comment section, but I'm going to play just a little bit of it.
That they have a story today saying that they have FBI sources who say that the FBI has determined that the two ransom notes, alleged ransom notes, one of which we received along with two Tucson television stations, and a second which one of those TV stations received, were not legitimate. And also that the demand letters that we had been receiving from somebody demanding 1 Bitcoin in return for saying who the kidnappers are, identifying them, that too is not legitimate. So we decided that we would pursue this and see if in fact.
Why does he need to pursue this? Why can't he just leave it alone and be like, you know what, they got me, or you know, I'm going to let the reports fall the way they fall. But no, he's like a big baby, or a little baby that needs to stamp his feet and say, you know, let me pump my chest out here and show you I'm calling the FBI, and they told me to leave them anonymous. And I'm going to still report that I talked to them and that they said this to me.
This is real, that they've discounted it. It's not what we had heard, but it was possible. So we made calls. So I am going to tell you that I spoke with 2 people in the FBI, one of whom is involved in the investigation, one of whom is an official. And I
call bullshit on this anyways, Ed, because do you feel like a case assigned FBI agent is going to talk to this guy?
No, and now that he put this out for the whole world to hear, you know, there's going to be somebody in their IG's office who's going to be looking into, see if they can identify if an agent received a phone call from Harvey that's involved in the investigation.
Yeah, this is so sticky that people don't realize how what he's doing here is, and it's the primary reason why the FBI has been ghosting him, because they might have had to speak with him and talk with the IT people, because they did receive email communications from said ransom notes from fictitious people or real people. So they have to go and contact them. They didn't contact or work with Harvey's IT people because they wanted to work with them. That's part of the investigation. That's part of how you take your case and follow through on a lead and then show what you did as an investigator to investigate that lead. So that requires them to contact their IT. He makes it sound like they're working together. That is not the case at all. So, and more so now, this shuts the FBI down from communicating with him at all, because this is shitty behavior right here.
The official in the FBI who asked, I don't use this person's name, said this:
An official.
It is more likely than not that the 2 ransom notes are real. Further in that conversation, this person said, they are more legitimate than not. That's a quote. Now, they haven't determined it is for sure real, but they definitely have not determined it is for sure fake. And as for the demand letters that we've been getting, where somebody is asking for 1 Bitcoin, they say it is less likely that those letters are real, but they have not discounted that either.
So this is ridiculous. I'm not going to play any more of it. Posh Paper Creations, thank you for the 5. The day the FBI got involved, Nanos takes off to a basketball game. I remember that early on. He told me everything I needed to know about him. Yeah, definitely. Clown. So let's go to the chat. What do you guys think of this guy, Harvey? Let us know if you think he's a buffoon. Press a 1 in the chat. If you actually like him or listen to him for gossip, for like, say, if you're into drama or if you're into like celebrity gossip, press a 2 if you're into that stuff. I mean, but he's way out of his league here, and he's way off base by getting himself involved and starting to say, we are contacting you. No, dude, shut the F up and sit down and go on to your next gossip case. Leave this poor woman's family alone. Leave this case alone. This is an 84-year-old woman who was abducted out of her bed in the middle of the night and murdered. Stop it. That's what you need to do. That's my 2 cents. And I'm sure, Ed, you ring true with that.
Indeed.
Yeah. Indeed. He is an idiot. So on behalf of everybody here, I hope you have a safe and happy and healthy 4th of July. We always send strength, prayers, and positive vibes to the Guthrie family and to all victims of crime and their families and the investigators who are tasked with investigating these crimes. Ed, what are you up to on July 4th? And let's find out what our chatters are up to. Let us know in the chat what you're doing for the 4th of July. What are you up to?
I'm on the Jersey Shore with my family and Linus and Kara.
Oh, nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm going to a backyard barbecue. I'm going to listen to some of the fireworks go off. I'm sure it should be crazy. Yeah, it was crazy last year and the years before. But yeah, bring Nancy home. Thank you. Thank you for that. FAFO Sanders, always good to see you, my friend. S Dubs, great to see you. Heather, whatever, always good to see you. Nobi, thank you for being here. Live, laugh, love. Thank you. I saw a lot of great people, Kristen in the chat, but a lot of people who've been around a long, long time. Yeah, Papa Smurth, Papa Smurth, the OG says Harvey is a Muppet, in my opinion. That's a good one. I like it. KA Pisces, thank you for the 1s across the board. Darcy says he's interfering. Harvey plus Nanos equals love.
And all we need is love.
Dad, Harvey equals. Yeah, he's way out of his league. He's stepping into areas that he shouldn't be stepping into. All right. One other thing before we go, I do want to say, look, there's a lot of news that we could be reporting on. Like there was that couple from Russia that went up to the top of the Empire State Building and did that proposal. That's reckless. It's dangerous.
It's stupid.
It was stupid. It caused a lot of people to be in danger. Because think, if she dropped a cell phone, which I saw was stuffed down the front of her shirt when she was apprehended and taken into custody, if she dropped that cell phone, and I'm sure he had a cell phone or some camera gear to record the stuff, down off of the Empire State Building, if it hit somebody down there, Ed, you're in crime scene. What would you have there?
We'd have a murder.
Yeah.
And forget about the phone. None of them had safety gear. There was no camera. What if they fell off?
Yeah. Now you're going to kill multiple people. Yeah.
I mean, they had to close the entire area around Empire State Building because of these two knuckleheads. No traffic, pedestrian or vehicular. So that meant goods and services weren't being provided because these two knuckleheads decided they wanted to do this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, crazy.
Take the key and lock them up.
You had aviation up flying around for an hour or two. You had emergency service cops had to climb up, and they did it the right way. But what if one of them had an accident and, God forbid, fell? So you put a lot of people's lives in danger, pedestrian, civilian, members of the service. And it also exposes how vulnerable we still are here in 2026 to acts of terrorism. Because if that couple was able to get up there and do a marriage proposal up at the top of the Empire State Building, what would have two radical Islamic terrorists done? We could have had a real tragedy on our hands. We could have had something really even worse. But it's an eye-opener for New York City and for the Empire State Building to lock that thing down and lock down these big buildings. Because if this couple was able to get up there and do that, what would it have been if there was somebody with bad intentions? And that's my takeaway from that. So on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, we want to thank you for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. We respect you. Ed, I'll give you final thoughts so we can segue out.
All right, folks, I want you to have a safe and happy 4th of July, 250 years old and going strong. I want you to watch out for your friends and family this hot weekend. Make sure you check in on those folks. Make sure you water your dogs. Make sure they have enough fluids. Everybody should have enough fluids. And I want to thank you for taking your valuable time and spending it with us this evening. I know you can get your true crime fix anywhere you like on the internet, but it's an honor to have you here with us. And with that said, as always, folks, stay safe, stay prepared, and watch your six.
I love it when you say that, Ed. Amen to that. And it's good to see everybody here on this unscheduled live stream. And this has been 5 months. Yesterday was 5 months, July 1st. We're now in July 2nd, going on to the 3rd. Nancy Guthrie, no answers, still nowhere closer than where we were in the beginning. So thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time out. Leave us a comment down below on everything that we discussed here. It was a lot to unpack, but we got it done in under an hour. So I'm impressed with that, Ed. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace and love from Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. Happy 4th.